Let us now look at loops in a shell script. We have now built our script to easily launch a rocket for a mission with a single command. We are now tasked to launch hundreds of such rockets to different planets and stars, and for each mission, you'll have to run the same commands one after the other 100 times with different mission names. We now have to automate the automation script itself. For that, let's develop another script. We will move all of the tasks into our new launchrockets.sh script, and within the new script, instead of calling the create and launch script multiple times, we replace it with a single call but within a for loop. Now, if you ever have to run the same command multiple times, then a for loop is your friend. Here, you want to say for every mission in the list of missions given to you, run the create and launch script. So a for loop is written like this. The first line says for every mission in a list of missions, followed by the do and done keywords. The do and done keywords indicate the start and end of the block. Every command within this for loop block, that is between the do and done keywords, are run each time the loop executes. The list of missions can be simply provided as a list of names separated by space. The for loop will execute as many times as the list of mission names specified here. But wait, the create and launch call within the for loop still has the value set to lunar mission. This means no matter how many times the loop runs, it's always going to launch the lunar mission, which is not what we want. We want it to launch separate missions each time based on the list we have provided in the for loop statement. So how do we replace the value lunar mission with the correct mission name each time the loop executes? The mission variable in the for statement contains the value of the mission name for each iteration of the loop. So all we have to do is replace the hard-coded mission name, which is lunar mission, with the variable mission like this. The first time the loop runs, the value of mission variable is set to the first value in the list, which is lunar mission, so it launches the lunar rocket. The second time it runs, it is set to Jupiter mission. The third time, it is set to a Saturn mission, and then the satellite mission, and then the lunar mission 2, followed by Mars, and finally the Earth mission. So no matter how many missions we want to run, this for loop will just work fine. Now, when the mission names are too many, like hundreds or thousands, it may be hard to type all of those in within our script. So instead of hard coding all the mission names on this line, you may have to read it from a file. So we store all the mission names in a file. Let's call it mission-names.txt. And then we can replace the hard-coded mission names in the for loop with a command to print the contents of the file mission-names.txt. But remember to encapsulate the command within a pair of backquotes like this. This time when the script is run, before the for loop is run, the cat command is executed to print all the mission names, which is then used as an input to the for loop. Going forward, all you have to do is update the mission names in the mission-names.txt file and not have to touch the script at all. That's one best practice that you must follow. Always try to develop your script in such a way that no one will ever have to modify the script in the future for executing. Those without the knowledge of shell scripts should be able to run your script without even opening it. All the inputs should be either passed in to the script as command line arguments or through an external input file as given here. Another best practice is to not use backticks for specifying a command. Instead, use the $brackets expression like this. This format is easier to read and has an advantage when you plan to embed multiple commands, that is, commands within commands. So we saw two ways of iterating over values in a for loop. One is getting values from a file, as we just saw. Another way is to simply specify the items separated by a space, as we saw earlier. And now say, for example, I wanted to generate mission names from 1 to 6. So I could use a loop like this. This will generate mission names from mission 1 to mission 6. Now, if you need to run the loop 100 times, then there's an easy way. You could specify a range using the sequence expression like this, using a pair of curly brackets with a starting point and ending point of the sequence you'd like to generate separated by 2 dots. That way you don't have to type in all the way from 1 to 100. Now, if you're familiar with other programming languages, like where you write a loop with an initialization statement, a condition, and a step, like as you would do in programming languages like C, then that is also possible. For that, use a double parenthesis like this. Now, you would typically use a for loop when you have to repeat tasks many times. For instance, run a command or a set of commands multiple times, or iterate through multiple files, or iterate through lines within a file, or iterate through the output of a command, etc. Here are some real-life examples of a for loop. So here we iterate through a list of files from the output of the ls command, and then print the count of lines on each file using the word count utility. Now here's another example of a for loop that iterates through a list of packages stored in a file and installs them one by one. And here's another example of a for loop used to SSH to a list of servers and check their uptimes. But you must make sure that for this to work, you either have set up like a passwordless SSH, then it would work well. Otherwise, you'll have to type in the password for each server every time.